Okay, good morning, everyone. I hope all of you had a good weekend. As always, today we'll have our Monday project presentations. We will keep it 3 minutes per person as usual. And please use this session to pitch your previous week project so that you can share what you worked on and get critic and also feedback from the team. You can also ask questions if there are areas where you'd like input. And as always, this will be an open discussion. So after the presentations end, we can take maybe 1 or 2 questions, just keeping time in mind. And also just a couple of announcements from the team. So the deadline for the prepayment is today. So please make sure to complete the transfer today and also send an email with your payment slip once it's done. And the second one would be the leaderboard is out, as you all know. So in all our programs, so after the program ends, we consider removing up to maybe just 1 or 2 weeks where your performance may not have been strong, so that it doesn't affect your overall leaderboard ranking. So please don't feel discouraged if you had a week where you didn't perform well. So it happens. I mean, we all know. So just focus on doing your best and just moving forward, especially after week 5. Yeah. And before I hand over to the technical team for the presentations, we'd love to see more hands. As always, we'd love to see more volunteers. So yeah, this is a great opportunity for you as well. So let me just, okay, great. We have more hands today. Let me hand over to Yababan, and then we can go on to the presentations.
Just a couple of minutes for me, but let's just go on. Please just put up your hands, and then depending on the number of people, we randomize or we just start. I think I'll just take the time.
Daraji, please go on. You can share your screen, share your progress.
Okay, good. Okay, thank you. So first unit is the entry gate. So whatever the input is, whether it is a local or GitHub repo, it takes the input and then detect the scope. I mean, either it is an incremental mode or a cold start. And then we will have a language router depending on the file type, either Python or YAML or SQL. And finally, we'll have a raw payload, and that's given to the code brain. I'm into the graph assembly or graph engine, and then every file becomes a node and imports become edges, and then we do.
Ajay, just to have one interruption. Do you think people you're presenting?
Hello? I can't hear you, sorry.
Yeah, I think you're breaking up.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, no.
Yeah, so I'm saying like you're the first presenter and you are presenting something. Do you think people know what you are even talking about? So wouldn't you just start what you are actually doing, like what you are presenting?
My assumption just we have 3 minutes on the clock, so trying to finish.
3 minutes doesn't make, like, if no one knows what you're talking, 3 minutes means 0 minutes, even if you talk about them. So almost always just the context is important. You are the first one, no one has presented before. So it's good just to really start, like summarize. But yeah, so 3 minutes doesn't mean you don't have to talk what you're talking about.
Okay, good. Let me start over there. Sorry. Okay, so the first one is the entry gate. So either we can use a local repo or a GitHub repo, and then we provide it to a scope detection. That means if there is.
But do people know what you're, even still, like, do you think people would know what you're talking about?
I don't get it, what you mean, sorry.
Like, about what are you doing? What are we seeing? What are you talking about? What is it that you're presenting?
I'm trying to present the the steps of the cartographer, how it's implemented.
Yeah, but what is cartographer? Like, what is, like, is it a project you're doing? Is it, what is it?
Yeah, of course, it's a project. It takes a local repo and or GitHub repo and then try to parse what's inside it. And then
Yeah, but so the thing is, you assumed we all know. What if somebody is not there, is here, who doesn't know what was the project about? So that's what I'm saying. Like, you are the first speaker, you have to change your context accordingly, not based on what you only prepare, based on what's actually, the situation. So start from, like, let's start from 3 minutes. Start from just the beginning.
Okay. Okay. So the main intention of the cartographer or the project is it takes a local repository or GitHub code base, and then we do an analysis on it. And then that cartography might have different programming languages, maybe Python, maybe SQL or YAML, or maybe Dagis or DBT Dagis. So we will try to parse what is inside there. And then once we get the raw data from this one, we will provide to the code engine or code brain. That means we want to make nodes and then edges from the parsed document. And then every file becomes a node, every import becomes edges. And then once we have a node and edges, then we have to do, we have to apply algorithms like PageRank algorithm to detect the ranking tabs. And then we can apply in-degree and out-degree analysis to check whether a certain code is dead or not. And then since we have already a Git committer, so we will do also velocity analysis on the Git history. And then finally, this is not enough. So we have to enrich the node. So finally, our node will have, a PR score and the velocity. And finally, we can have a module graph like this. A module graph like this. So which file, then their relationships, nodes, and then relationship among nodes. And then after once we have a module graph and then payloads, and then it will provide you to the hydrologist agents. That means we will have a hydrologist router, which means the lineage extraction depends on the file types. For example, if it is a SQL dialect, we are going to trace, select, insert inner drainers or outer drainers. If it is a Python script, we will try to detect, .read CSV or .SQL kind of thing. Finally, we do flow modeling, which means we need three things over here. We need dataset nodes and transformation nodes. Of course, we need edge wiring, which wires dataset nodes and transformation nodes, like the way I do here on the lineage graph. So over here we have, for example, SQL sample produces, order stable produces this SQL, and then this SQL consumes this order stable kind of thing. And then, we can go to the cartographer. I ran the cartographer using the LangGraph agent mode. And let's try to ask a question if I have prepared ready-made questions for that. Let's see how it does answers. For example, what does this example assay.py does? So it tells me the domain, it's a data analysis domain. Doesn't have any change velocity for the last 30 days. So it tells me the purposes. Let me go also ask it like what this libs helper.py is.
You're not showing us. You're showing us the network.
Oh, okay. So let me share the entire screen. Oh, okay. So I asked this question. What does this helper.py do? So it tells me the domain data processing analysis, and then show me the definition of it. Let me ask it about the blast radius. For example, if I affect this helper.py, what are the downstreams that it might affect? So it affects the affected modules are these two Kubernetes related execution files. Have both questions like, what if I want to clean the repo, and then what are the dead pods? So let's see Oh, I think I can copy this question. This question. Let's see. Oh, these are the list of data codes. And yeah, I think this one.
So in the interest
Thank
of
you.
time, that's great. Yeah. So thanks. Thanks. Okay. Anyone? Any from the community? Any question? Okay. If not, like, what would be something that you said you haven't completed because of the time, or that something high value that you need to improve on top of what you have done? You're muted if you're talking. Dereje. Okay. So if not, just let's go to the next speaker then, and Stefanos.
Sorry, I was muted. Sorry.
Okay. I think we'll come back to you, Dereje, just because in the interest of time, let's go to Stefanos.
Okay, thank you, everyone. I am audible, right?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, hopefully it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming. Time started.
Okay, it's visible, right?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, thank you. So last week, like we have been tasked like to do the cartographer that can be used as, while onboarding new FDs, so that we make their life easier, like so that they don't have to go through and manually investigate all code and everything. So that I have tried to implement the diagram as per the challenge document. And it is more always like these four agents are working together to achieve those code-based analysis. So to save my time, let me go directly to the project and show you what I implemented. So I have already run it on the Jaffel shop. So I have already the Flask app running. Let me go there and show how it works. So right now, we can write, if it is another like repo, we can clone it from the GitHub and do the direct analysis. But for this one, because I have already run the Jaffel shop, I will try to analyze it and try to see what we will achieve here. So we have like here the lineage graph, so that one FD can come in and see that where is the data pointing and how it is progressing in the system. And here we have a clear explanation about how to read the lineage system, so that he can understand how to read all these nodes. And as we can see here, we have a lineage legend where we can see that the labeling. So for example, here, if we see the red one, this means that these ones are the source nodes. So if I come here and select, I can also see that the blast radius, like, so an FD can see that if you do like raw customers edit like that, on 4 or 5 nodes will be also affected, and like that. So this one is a complete graph of the data passing through. And we can go also to the module graph. Here also, we can see that the DBT project, YAML project is connected to all nodes, as also in the lineage graph. Here is also the brief description, how you can read it, and also the legends, everything here, so that he can see that how these nodes are connected with others. So if I come and see that this DBT project.yaml field is like the main critical point. So if the FD like touches, you have to be careful because it is the main configuration file. Also, we can reset the view and also like see on the tooltip what kind of YAML project is this, and also the degree. Is it a receiver node or like that? So every detail you can see here. And also one FD can come also here to see shortly the blast radius here. So if we do the analysis, we can see which nodes are affected while we change all these stage orders like that, so that you have to be careful of while changing such kind of things. And we can find here about the module index. This one gives us the details of each module, about its language, its page rank, and also the purpose statement. You can clearly see that what each module is doing and so on. So we have all of it here. And also we have the Day1 brief here, so that when a new FED come in, these are the 5 critical questions that you need to answer. So this one I have generated using the semantics, so you can see easily which, are like on Day1 brief. And also additionally, I have added 2 features so that, when a new FED is come in, he can see that what kind of tasks he can easily do in terms of.
Let me stop you here, just
Yeah.
just in the interest of time. So if anyone wants to see that, to see more features, like they can ask you. So anyone from the community wants to ask Stefanos? Question?
Mhm. I have one question. So can you maybe compare how much time your tool saves when analyzing a code base, let's say compared to someone using AI manually?
Okay, I think I can say that even for me personally to dig out about these projects, it took me 1 day or like that to see what kind of data lineage that goes through in like that. But if a new FED comes in, it can take like 30 minutes up to 1 hour, because everything is here like clearly we can see that which nodes affected like that. We don't have to manually search. So I can say that it can take like 1 hour and 30 minutes, which takes like in manually 1 or 2 days.
Okay, thanks.
Excellent. Thank you. Then that's wonderful. Thanks, Stefanos. Nuria?
Hello, everyone. Let me share my screen. I'm audible, right?
Yeah, right. So the screen is visible. Time started.
Okay. So to start with the problem statement, as we know, the large code bases hide their architecture, the data flows, the critical dependencies inside the thousands of codes and files. So when the new engineers are coming to onboard, they try to understand how the system works, where the data enters, and how it is flow. So there have to be a solution or a mechanism to solve this. Then I come up with a solution that handles all these things. So it's called the brownfield cartographer, not a greenfield. So to start with out of the architecture, it has 3 parts. The first is the 4 agents that have been orchestrated here. And the other is the query. So there will be loading these results from the archivist, and then it will select the tool, and then finally it will give a response. And the other is the courtroom that will evaluate how the first onboarding and the codebase.md file is performing. So having this in mind, let's go to the project. This is how it looks. It have everything what our customer have to know about its code base, his code base. So let's start with the server. Here it can the customer can see how the modules are like flowing and how the functions are architected. So if we select here one module, it will he or she can answer any kind of questions, whatever he wants. So what kind of file is it? So he can say it's a project document. It can answer also the module path. It can see the package, the language type. So is this a test module or a production? He can also do this, like, is it production, or what does this module import? Like, even it can. So all the questions are answered based on the customer need. So after selecting the module, there have to be a function inside that module. So there have to be another graph that shows how the function is performing. So these are the functions that are directly related to the module that we selected earlier. So these are some of the functions. So when I select it, even he can answer questions like the parent module, like the purpose statement, and the other thing, like, so where does this function live? Like in which project directory, in which project path, and the language that use, and what calls it is, like what and who calls this function. Everything has been answered based on what the customer can need. So if these are the functions that have been generated when I click the module above, so I can see the changes here. The other is the Yeah.
So the time is up, but I can see that you have implemented a lot of functionalities. But let's see from the community if anyone has question or want to see something. So, but yeah, well, that looks very, very complete.
Okay.
Anyone has any question?
So I have one question. I want to see the courtroom parts.
Okay, the courtroom is like this. So it will give a confidence for how the 5 questions have been answered.
Also, these are the 5 FD patients.
Yes, these are the 5 FD questions, but there have to be a verification how confident the answer is. Like it will trace, like, is the evidence present or not? Like, does the answers are present or not? And is there any runtime error? So after doing this analysis, the prosecutor, the defense, and the tech lead will give their own score. Then finally, the justice will decide how much score it have.
Okay, so this is coming from the Week 2 project that you did on the
Week,
automate
yeah.
one.
Yep, it's a Week 2 project. It have its own constitution, but the concept is coming from the Week 2. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Thank you.
There is a semantics if you want to see.
Yeah, you started. So let me just give you another 20 seconds. So go for it. The semantic.
Okay. Semantics is I have used just a local model, so anybody can search the files by their behavior or intent or their code identity, like the module path, the class name, the function name, even he or she can search based on the domain clusters. Like this is the domain clusters that have been generated by making our k-means clustering. So if you can search based on the domain, so we can find here, so we can inspect everything what we want to see. Yes, that's it. So here is the hydrologist, this is the archivist.
Excellent. No, great. Let's see. I mean, I think most people can actually take some of this and also see analyzing existing codes. They are interested. So it looks complete. So well done.
Thank you.
Okay, fantastic.
Joseph, please go on.
Maybe.
Oh, am I audible? No?
Yeah, now you are. Okay.
Oh. Think someone is sharing.
Is that your screen or?
It's not mine.
Okay. Who's sharing? Maybe can someone, was that Maria just unshare? Yeah.
Okay.
Go on.
Okay. So is this visible?
Yeah, it's visible. I've started.
So my architecture, this one is my detailed architecture, but we got the repo or the Git cloning repo, the URL or the local repo, and it analyzes. It has the 4 phases: the surveyor and then the hydrologist and all phases. So after analyzing it, I have created like this. This is like the overview with the Java shop, and here are the modules analyzed. Here are the dataset identifies the transformation and the confidence, which are these are the language breakdowns. So and in all 4 phases are here, and to show you like the lineage graph. Here are the lineage graphs, and it shows the green shows like the raw sources from the e-commerce raw suppliers, and here are the raw items and how it passes through the modeling, which are the consumes the ages, which show their meaning and the age type. And also here we can see that which are the data sets with the which parsing method we use, the YAML parse, and the which where the source is found. And at last, we can see like the in the product or the output tables that are found in Mart, which also shows the lines and also the files. So here are the lineage graph. When I also tried, other than on the Java shop, on the Airflow, and I got almost a large module graph, which is so complicated, but I managed to produce this. And respect to the semantics, I have used the LangGraph and the 4 tools. So if I ask questions like trace the customer substream lineage, it shows which tool it uses, the query, and it will answer the circumstance between upstream across 21 inch and the data sets and the transformations that traces, as I showed you here in the lineage graph. And it's also show the evidences and which the sources here are showed also the sources, and if plus tradis of order items, it show to the stream nodes and the nodes types, which are the model, the transformation node, which is a DBT model, and the dataset customers node. And also here are the the Day1 answers, JSON, also the one onboarding brief, which can answer all the questions regarding to which are useful for understanding the code base and which are the critical outputs, and also with the evidences. Also, it shows where anyone can find the evidences. And
So-
here,
In the interest of time, let me stop you because I forgot as well. Okay, so anyone has a question? Let's see, anything? So just maybe one question from me. You had generated a very dense map. Do you know what it is and what information it actually has, other than being artistic?
yeah, regarding the Java shop, I have understand it. But
No, the one you generated. There was a
yeah.
figure like had a lot. Yeah, that one. Do
Yeah.
you know what it is?
Yeah, I didn't honestly go in deep to understand, but I have what I understand from it is since it's a module graph, it doesn't create most of the SQL types, but when I try to zoom in and found there are some nodes that most of other files import them, and there I found another files that are not imported most, and that are not that much critical from understanding, but it needs more of work to better understand it and to have a better visualization than this whole graph, I would say.
Excellent. Great. Thanks, Yosef. So the order was Mr. Do you have a question?
Just one question. Joseph, so how long did it take you for the Airflow one? How long did it take you to actually, let's compare it with the Java shop?
Okay, for the Java shop, all the 4 phases completed in 4 minutes. But I think for the data, for the Airflow, I think it's more than an hour, I think.
So even like the mapping, it shows, since it's a dense and a big mapping, so I was just thinking how long it would take to do that. So yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think the visualization is great, right? So I mean, it's just creating some insight, like what insight can be derived based on one of your query methods and stuff is the most important to be able to do. So I think that's good to test it, to check it.
Okay, I will do that.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Yosef. So I think I am seeing that some people were their hands up and then hands down. So I'm not sure if you guys want the orders, like that's how you do it. But I think Masarat, you were first. But do you want to go first or?
Yeah. I'm out of power and I want to present now.
Yeah, exactly. Just go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah, we see your screen.
Okay, thank you. So just to give you a brief on my architecture diagram. So commonly all the repos follow this structure. I follow the structure, and first the system receives a repository. Then it can be a GitHub repo or a local repository path. Then the command line interface will I use it as an entry point to trigger the analysis of pipeline. Then the orchestrator will be it runs those all agents. We have those here: survivor, hydrologist, semantics, and archivist. So this agent will pass to the result between them. So the survivor agent will pass files using tree setter, and also it builds the module dependencies, and the hydrologist will do the everything related to data flow. So it builds the data lineage graph. And it passes to the semantics for the AI understanding layer. So static analysis cannot be understood only with code existence. So the agent uses LLM here. Then archivist will be those anything those code base markdown will be listed here. Here the knowledge graph is it tests all those BFS page rank, and this is on the what will get on the after the report analysis. So basically, I already did the web-based, but show you that this I was mostly focused on the OL data platform for the data set. I chose that because it's kind of intensive repository, and it made me interested in this repo. And it's a data platform used to manage analyst dashboards and data sets using Apache Superset. So I chose that. It took me a long time to analyze this data set repo because almost it took me 20 minutes to run this, and I got those all JSON files module JSON files, how much, for example, if you take this file, we can get any information about this specific file, line of code, last modified day, and as if it is a code for this specific file is a data code, and everything is analyzed here. And the code base markdown and here specifically about this repo file, markdown file is here. I will show you the linear graph. Here we see that we have all the owner of the everything of the about the specific files of this
We are only
JSON
seeing
files, the
code
files.
base.
Yeah.
So that we can't see the graph. Okay, I think it's coming now. Okay.
Okay, let me show you.
Let's
Okay. Okay, so here I almost run all of the repo, but let me show you the data platform. So here is the overview. So the repository had almost 1,125 modules, import ages, and everything data sets here. And the main thing is that the around 390 LLMs used for the semantics, and the data sources, the architectural hubs are here. Because, for example, let's say this file, the page rank is 0.07. It means that the length of code to the how many comments have this specific file had been got, and they have the playlist of this. And this is the architectural.
Let me stop you because
Yeah.
of the time. But if there is any
Yeah.
question that wants to see more, like let's just take it from there.
Can
So,
I show
yes.
the semantics? Okay.
I think let's just wait. You can still, while people are asking, you can actually change your screen. That's fine,
Okay.
just so that people
Yeah.
can see. But in terms of, I think let's just see. Anyone wants to.
Okay. There's
So, okay, maybe let me ask you a question. What is something that you're really happy about from what you've done?
what? Can you ask me again?
What are you, like, what the element or the feature that you are very happy about or that you are excited about?
I might not able
why?
to show the navigating, like everything I navigate something. I was I have been getting answers from the LLM. The LLM was at the first it wasn't working, but because of the repo I chose was hard and it's kind of intensive, and at the final it worked with the open router LLM, and it helped me that, and I can navigate anything from about the repo, and that I think that's the thing that satisfied me. And the questions anything can be asked and can be answered about the repo. Yeah, here, let me show you. Yeah, here I have been getting a good answer from the lady. That's Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. Sorry. Thank you. Yeah, I was muted. So thank you. So then let's go to the next speaker, Charlie.
Hello everyone. So I think I'm audible. So
Yeah.
let me share.
Sorry. So you pronounce your name Chalia? Chalie or
Charlie.
Charlie?
Charlie, yeah. It's not Charlie, it's Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie.
Okay. So this is the overall architecture of my system. So there is a target repository, and so based on target repository, there is server agent and error agent. They just analyze it statically, and there will be a knowledge graph. And based on this knowledge graph, so semantic agents by using LLM. So I'm using Gemini to produce and summarize some outputs and to answer Day1 questions. So, and there is archivist agents, and it finally produces those files for our models. And there is a navigator query layer, and that will help us to navigate the questions. So, let me show you some overviews. So, I just implemented this UIs, but it's not that much perfect. So there is a server agent, and there is in the server agent there is around 735 nodes, 232 edges, and the top node is this one, and it is a function. So in the server live there is two types of nodes. So this one is a function, and the inner one is a modulus. So for each thing is there is some detailed things already inputted here. And so when it comes to hydrologist, it looks like this one, and this is a data set, and this one is a transformation. So for example, let me show you this one. So its node type is data set. Its degrees is 1 in and 13 out means. So one line is into this node and 13 is out to this from this node. And when it comes to there is a schema snapshot also here. So this data model schema snapshot looks like this. The column's name already detailed here. There is name, username, description, everything. So this one is already set up for everything. And this one is a transformation of type transformation. That means just a transform. So either consume or produces. So everything is here. And for the archivist, so I can show you here code with MD and also onboarding a brief Day1 answers and also cartographic trace already listed here. So for example, for code-based MD, so I can show you everything. So architecture, everything is already here. So then I think for the visibility. So for this, so for example, so the data overview looks like this one. See around 205 modules, 905 data sets, 590 transformations, and also around 200 edges, around 2,236. And everything is already inputted here. So this is all about my presentation.
Excellent, thank you. So any question to
I
Charlie?
have just one question.
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Charlie, and it's a good presentation. But like a follow-up, like if a new FD comes to you and asks you like what the cartographer do that the AI coding agents will not do, how would you explain that to him?
I did not get your question, Stefanos. Can you repeat it again?
Okay, let me repeat it. So I was asking, like, if a new FD comes to you and asks you what this cartographer system does, but the AI coding agents cannot do. That means, like, he can do it code base and ask like AI coding agents to analyze. So what makes it different? If he asks you, how would you explain it to him?
So one issue is just to understand this thing with AI agents. So the agent will understand every code basis, so one by one. But after this generation, just you can upload the code base just by uploading this one only. So you can get every information about the code base easily. But for when it comes to agents, so it must understand every code bases one by one. So this well, but this project already to this code base MD. So based on this, if you can upload this file to the any agent model, so it can easily understand every details about the architecture. So it will not hallucinate, or it will not be that much difficult to understand it, I think.
Okay.
This is a really important question, and I think earlier. So in one form of thinking is what you're doing is compression, right? So you are adding energy, which is tokens, and such that kind of actually compress them. So you're kind of creating an algorithm that is in the AI sense now is compressing without losing information. And the usual way of compressing was byte level compression, which is for the size. But what about for a semantic compression? And in some way, one other just simple measure is that, okay, who has done like semantic compression, very, very much such that an implementation of a new feature, for example, will take a smaller number of tokens to actually generate them. So that basically means that if you just analyze it, the cost analysis, without this, how much cost would you have, will you need to implement one feature versus with yours? Now, the different implementations that we have seen now can act like, depending on their semantic compression and kind of losslessness and kind of being strategic compressions, that you here actually to save a lot more money. And when will be the ROI will be like, if you implement 100 features on top of this, then the return on investment, which means the kind of tokens that you spend is worth it, right? So that's really what another way of measuring the ROI of your part. So just think about this and definitely discuss it and present it in that way as well. Okay, wonderful. Any question to Chale? If not, thanks, Chale. So particularly, I liked part of the visualization that was very good. In some way, yeah, it looks more hydrology in some sense. So kind of, yeah, that was good. Okay, so Rafia.
Okay, hello guys.
Hi.
Am I audible?
You are audible.
This is me, Rafa Kader. So I'll be presenting the brownfield cartography. So the brownfield cartographer is a satellite tool designed for engineers to help engineers quickly understand and navigate unfamiliar repos and legacy code bases. So it maps modules, dependencies, and data lineage in minutes. And even allows semantic exploration of the repos logic, like think of it as like Google Maps, but for the codes. So this is my architecture. I won't be staying too much on explaining about the architecture because last time I already presented it. So let me go to the executions I already did. So I already executed some of the commands, which I believe is these are some core parts of this whole system. So I already executed beforehand because executing it takes some time. So my work, I will be showing it in my terminal. So this is the analyze command. So this does what the analyze command does is full repo scan. So it builds a module graph. It will have nodes and edges. The nodes will be the actual modules or files, and the edges are this dependencies and their interaction. So here it puts the matrix and stuff. So we will have the top hub modules. I used the rank page algorithm to extract the top hub modules. These are the most essential modules for us. So this is a hydrologist lineage graph. So it generates both hydrologist graph and lineage graph. So these are the lineage graph. And the lineage graphs are the tables, files, and data flows. So it has optional semantic arrangement for purpose detection and the domain tagging if it's enabled. So the input is the repo path, and the output is like a directory so that it will save the files in cartography folder. So yeah, I analyzed two repos, my Week1 repo and the JFO. So the second command I ran was the query. So for the query to analyze the differences between context-aware queries and non-aware queries. So here I just asked a question without queries and answered very shortly and not very descriptive. Here I queried it with context. I gave it a detailed information of the code repo, which is generated by the analyze command, which is after generation, it will be saved in here like cartography folder. So from cartography folder, I mainly chose code base, and the code base is what I gave for us for context for the repo. So after it gets context, the answer varies greatly. So it gets deeper and deeper, and it's more wide and very declarative. So these are the long detailed version of the query answer I got. So here we can see the difference between context aware query and the non-context aware query. So the last thing I did is the blast radius. So it defines which module affects the most if a certain module changes. So in our case, if the staging customers, I tried staging customers. So if a stage customers changes, the one module that will be affected the most is the customer's model. So this is what I tried to show. So this is basically my work right now.
Okay, so great. Any question?
Rafia, so you didn't show us any network visualization. Do you not like have it as a network? It's only JSON file?
No, I did have a visualization, but for some reason at the very last time it worked last time, but at the very last minute something happened and it's just not working. But it used to work, and like here I would write my node's name, and it would just show that node specific graph. But for now, just went off. My bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Rafia. Then Johannes Derece.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah. Rafia, you can unshare. Is the screen from Rafia or from you, Johannes?
No, it's from Rafia.
Rafia, can you unshare? Rafia, can you unshare your screen? Stop sharing. Maybe is there a way we can do that, Rodas? Or maybe just you can share, Johannes, and I think it will come probably. So
Okay.
Just proceed.
Okay, so can you see my screen?
Yeah, we do, I think.
Okay, so the brownfield, first of all. Hello. Okay, so my brownfield. How are you, everyone? So I'm going to present the brownfield cartographer. It's a system that goes through code bases, tests code bases, and gives us a bird's eye view information of the code base, and it gives us answers if we were assigned as an FTE for a job, maybe. So this is my system. I didn't implemented a web view, but it has all the functionalities. So I run my cartographer. It has the agents, archivist, hydrologist, semanticist, surveyor, and all the agents which are working perfectly as intended. And I run my cartographer in 3 code bases, which is my Week2, the all data platform, and the Jaffle shop, and all the artifacts are there. It's generated all these artifacts. So if we can see the onboarding brief, which are the 5 questions that the FTE must answer in 72 hours. It gives them all the information by citing the evidences. So these are the primary data. What is the primary data ingestion path? What are the 3 to 5 most critical outputs or data sets? It lists them using their page rank. And what is the blast radius of the most critical module fails? So it lists out the most critical files, if deleted, which has a lot of influence in the entire code base. So this is for the Jaffle shop, and my navigator is also working good. I have a CLI interface to interact with the navigator. So this is the navigator response. What is the blast radius of STG orders? I asked it for the Jaffle shop. So the navigator responded by computing the blast radius from the structural graph evidence and lineage downstream. And it also lists the page rank here. With the page rank of the page, it also lists the page rank of the module. Also, it also lists out the affected components. So module, March, customer, SQL, all these files are affected if I delete or if I affect this STG order file. So I think that's it. This is the onboarding brief, and it also gives us the code base, information, the architectural and the critical part. So that's it. The module graph is only on the JSON file. I didn't
That's fine.
visualize
Great.
it.
Okay. Anyone has question? Yes. So if not, then I want to ask you one question. So what have you understood now that you have been building, from week 1 to here, maybe from week 0 to here? What is, like, by this time, what's your impression, and what is, like, how does these systems that you're building interact, or, what would you improve, let's say, in the next one? The lessons that you learned.
You said, what would I improve for the next one?
Yeah, it's like what, like exactly now, like how is building one more project adding value and adding perception and increasing your way of also pattern, right? What would you do, something that can be compounded so that it creates more than just the work that you do? So any other lessons that you have gained now that you have been doing consecutively using AI?
Yeah. So the lessons I learned is that I can do anything with AI. That's the major lesson I would say is AI is so much powerful than my perception, my before perception. So doing all these projects taught me a lot. So in the coming projects, I think I will be more fluent in using AI, and I would also improve making them user interactive. So in the entire project I have made from week 1 to here, my colleagues are doing a lot of web UI. I have not been doing that until now, but in the future project, I'm sure I will be doing that, and I'm going to improve that, and I'm going to add that in my workflow. So I think that's an adequate answer. But if not, I can describe.
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, this is more like there was no end for this, and I'm asking different people different things so that my questions and as well, just so it's not just only intended for you, it is for everyone as well. So yeah, okay, awesome, thanks. Jacob.
Okay, can you hear me?
There was a Nico, but yeah, go on, proceed.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
I'm not sure whose screen, but we are seeing the screen, so maybe not now. We should share.
How about now?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. So to start with the project brief, every time a new engineer joins a project, let me call us when we start a new engagement on a new project, there is a 72-hour blind spot. We spend days gripping through code, trying to find the entry points, and also the date codes which are not being used, and also the critical paths. So this project, or it's called the brownfield cartographer, eliminates that friction. So it doesn't just list these files; it generates high fidelity architectural skeleton called codebase.md. So to start with, let's see the architectural diagram. At first, the full pipeline will be given to this project, and the survey agent, the hydrologist agent, does the analysis and gives AST structural nodes, architectural structural nodes, and it creates the knowledge graph, and also after they generated the result, the semantic agent using AI platforms. It's AI powered agent, and it gives some purpose and domain responses for that repository. And at last, the archivist agent creates some important files for the FDE engineer, the codebase.md, the onboarding brief, the 5 questions that's asked by the engineer at first in the module graph, and also the cartography trace.json file. So to show, I have run this project on several GitHub repositories: Jaffel Shop, OL Data Platform, and the Raw Code Mastery Tinker, the first week's project, my own GitHub repository. And we have UI interface. It's not fully done. There's some errors happening here on the chat, but we can give it here a local directory or a GitHub repository link, and it's it will do the analysis and gives us the codebase.md file here visual. Then it have the lineage map and the audit log. This is the UI interface for the project, and also there is a graph, a network graph that shows the lineage graph.json file. It's this project is for the OL data platform repository. It has 3,105 nodes and 4,577 total ages. So particularly, we can search for some nodes we want. For example, I searched this earlier, and it points to this. It makes the color red and points exactly to that node. For example, since it's a large database, it might take time. But for the Jaffel shop, I have also the graph here. So we can search for some nodes. For example, let's search here.
But in the interest of time, I will just stop you here. And so let's see if anyone has a question to ask you.
I have one question.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, that's good, Jacob. But maybe one follow-up question. Let's say, like, if we implement this into a production system, like, what additional feature do you think would be more beneficial for the FDE besides what we all have implemented? What do you like? If you are like a system reviewer, what would you suggest?
Can you repeat it, please? Sorry.
Okay, let me repeat it. I was saying that, Jacob, let's say if you are a system reviewer of the cartographer, and like you see that we have done different kinds of we have implemented what is stated in the challenge, but what would you recommend if there is an additional feature that needs to be added? that would be more beneficial to the FD besides what we have already done?
Okay, I think the UI interface is not working properly. So additionally, if this environment were more, it can work in an effective way. I think it will be a good implementation for the AI, and the improvement might be over here. And also, it takes time for a large data repositories, for a large file repositories. So reducing that time might make this project more effective. Maybe if I have answered the question, Stefan.
Okay. I think you were mentioning about the UI, but I'm more focused on the functionalities, like what kind of additional functionalities, like in terms of like we have like the survey hydrologist, but more of the functionalities I was asking.
I haven't thought about that more, but again, in the VS Code, it might take time, so that improving that time might make more this effective, but technically, I haven't thought through it. Okay.
Yeah, excellent. Yep, great.
So I have a question. Sorry. Okay, Jakob, it's a good presentation actually, but I have saw you that while you analyze a new repo, it starts and finishes within just a minute. But we have used LLM-based semantic analysis, which is it will take a lot of time. I mean, what did you use so that it enables you to finish it very fast? I'm just curious.
It finished too fast because at first because it is Jaffa shop. It's relatively a smaller GitHub repository, and also it is currently it's using the local from it's just getting the data from the local files. That obviously reduced the time. But if it was directly from the GitHub repository, it might take more time than it took now.
No. Okay. No, like analyzing from the local repository may just minimize the time for cloning time, not the analysis time, I think.
Okay, but it's a small.
Yeah, but I think maybe the question is like, do you have a cache? Are you reading from the cache now once you analyzed or not? Did you analyze like when you just pressed, like if you go to your dashboard and when you run a full analysis, if it was already full analyzed, does it analyze again? Or is it just reading from also, if it was cached, that it reads from the cache? What?
I think currently, since I have the data here, it's just
it's
getting it from that.
Maybe here, to support Jakob. In my case also, I do the same, and it was like there is a function that calls the already generated Jaffa shop file instead of generating. So that saves the function implementation.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that's called cache, right? So you cache it, and I see that incremental mode versus non-incremental mode. If it's incremental mode, then if there was a new Git commit, then it should just analyze that as well. Just so I think that's my understanding. But yeah, if you're not doing that, I think so. Nuria, maybe that was my understanding at first. But yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, and so just a few comments here, like also for you, Jakob. When you have 3 minutes, spending 2 minutes and 10 seconds on just basic introduction is not good. Right? So it's good, like, so the way that you introduced is good, but like you have to almost always take the context. What is the context? In the beginning, Daraja had the exact opposite. He didn't want to even spend any second. Both are not right. You need to really allocate properly what 3 minutes is. You have seen them. Why every week we are asking you to repeat is that to understand what 3 minutes is. 3 minutes is not much, and you have to be very kind of chunk your thoughts. Definitely, you can't skip introduction. Even if someone else has introduced, you must say, yeah, given that everyone else, the previous speakers has introduced, I'm just gonna, spend only 10 seconds. But you still have to make sure you're connecting, because you don't know if another person already joined, like new joined while you are presenting. Because you have no control of that, you must always connect the context. You're not, you're an FD, you're an experienced communicator. You're not just a technical person. And most of the things that is done in your presenting, it's not even that you have done them. You might not know them even to the detail. So it's important that you spend where it matters the most, which means that you have understood the business logic and you're adding business value. And you're kind of course, depending on the time, if you have, 5 minutes, then you kind of allocate also your spaces. So it's important that you say what you wanted to say, what you wanted to show to the audience within the amount of time, and almost always bring things that are variable early, such that, that's called the structure of your talk, right? So even if you're not prepared, even if you're just on the spot, you structure for the, you take 5 seconds, structure your thoughts. Okay, who are the audience? What am I gonna be really, what is like something that mine is important? Where should I put the value? And then you kind of do that. That automatic reconfiguration of your mind is important, right? It's not just like, yeah, like, you come in and you give. So it's important you don't spend 2 minutes and 10 seconds on presenting something that already is presented. And because then you would have had more time, right? But at the same time, it doesn't mean don't present it. Like, just minimize the time and show actually the amount of work, the value that you have created, right? So I think that's good. Overall, I know that other people have also created really, good work. And just this is basically, if you look, the type of work that you guys are doing already now at a level, you can actually share it as part of, I don't know, you can turn it into a cloud code skill or anti-gravity, or Gemini CLI plugin or extension or codex, something, you can actually do them, and you should definitely release them in product hunt. Now that you are actually, like, you have to know you are spending time and they are spending money in creating these resources, and these resources will be useful. So even if you're going to maintain them, just release them. Like, just say, just like in Twitter, just share with it. When you share, don't just share only on your own Twitter, but when someone search, for example, cartography and, I don't know, code analysis brownfield, and I'll, identify a person that's kind of, let's say, Andre Karpati or somebody type of like that. And within that comment yours, like, I have developed this and it might be useful for people, because there you will get kind of like attention, right? So become not only also just producing, but also start sharing. Another one, really, my big respect also for at least from the ones that we see who integrated also the week 2 part. It is good sometimes. I ask it all for that reason. How can you plan such that you can start integrating now your course, right? So your week 1s, your week 2s, your week 3s, your week 4s, whatever is relevant. Not everything may be relevant for the project, but start thinking now that, every token, don't be, of course, like, don't have that token poverty mindset, but at the same time also value every token. So that means if you have spent time and token on week 2 project, and that week 2 can be useful by adding a few more tokens in it, do so. Such that structure them. And then this kind of thing, that kind of adds a lot more value with just, with the simplest time spent. That way you're actually valuing your work, your previous work. Because if you have not valued your previous work, you will not value this week's work also tomorrow, which kind of gives you in a disadvantage. Because imagine if the next project is about code analysis, and if you don't really use this code, then you really didn't, like the earlier questions that I think Stefanos was asking, and also Rodas was asking, you know, what actually is the value? Can you quantify them? So it's important now that the 4 weeks were maybe configuring your mind. From here on, become also a strategist in how you share your resources or your work to the outside world, and how also you kind of combine to create something more powerful. You know, if your root code is helping you today to really just create something, catch errors early, that would be amazing, right? If your analysis code, like from week 2, is kind of actually giving you your code now has this issue, you know, it's not actually respecting, it has this gap, it would be very useful for you, right? So it's kind of really trying to leverage every set of things that you're doing. You see that how powerful they are, right? So I think, but overall, really great work. I'm impressed as before, but the next direction would be improvability as well as also in kind of summability. So you have to, every week's project should reuse whatever can be used from the previous projects and make it much better and much more stronger, right? Awesome. Okay, so are there any general class questions? Maybe for, you know, there are people who have not presented, who know something, who have done, who can ask some, you know, any observational or, you know, any general type of also discussions anyone wants to ask for. It could be comments, suggestions, feedbacks. If anyone has,
Yeah,
you can.
I have one.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, maybe sometimes on, like we have tutorials and some question and answers, but I believe there have to be a kind of discussion class between teams so that we can share ideas. Because last time I haven't been able to attend the Friday's attendance, but you were, I hear that you were saying about the week 2 is very important for this one. So after that, I just integrated it. But before that, I was just curious how to judge if my 5 questions that I generated are correct or not. That was the major issue for me, but you have solved it indirectly. So there have to be a kind of discussion classes. I think we have to focus on that so that ideas will flow, then we will learn from each other.
Yep, great. Feedback well taken. I think we will start from probably this week, where we have a more free discussion session, maybe 1 or 2, so that it can help. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Anyone else? Any observations? Any generalizations? Yeah, Nabil?
Yeah, this is just a question.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying the program, and especially the project I enjoyed the most was the week 3 document, intelligence refinery project. And honestly, I haven't really moved on much. Like, I really enjoyed that, and I'm really thinking about, you know, building something on top of that to even host it as a service. And I just wanted to share and also understand how other learners are dealing with this. I'm kind of feeling like the burnout of moving from one project to another project week by week. Like there's no time to really digest and to iterate and improve on something. It is nice that we can use the code base that we built on week 1, week 2. Like, I read the document for the new challenge, and it actually loops back and taps into the things we built before. But I just want to hear from other learners here how they're dealing with, like, moving from one project to another project.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Nabil.
Okay, let me answer, I think.
Go on, Ray. Yeah, this is...
Okay, Nabil, yeah. If you are very experienced and already have a background, that may not be, in my perception, that may not be helpful. But for me, believe it or not, I have finished this project on Wednesday. That means it only took me like 3 days. But this was not true on week 1 and week 2 and week 3. There is like exponential growth how I execute it fast. So I think that helps me. And after being fast, I tried to figure out like I tried to think what to add, what makes it production level, something like that. That's what it's helping me right now. Maybe for others, I don't know.
Okay, thank you, Nuri.
So while others can answer, and I let me just give my opinion as well. Like, it's true, like if you should spend some time in some projects to make them actually, you earn money. Definitely you should. And but at the same time, early stopping, like while it is great, it's also sometimes you might not notice the ephemeralness of products these days. They're very fast. That's why it's important actually, as you build them, you kind of share to the world, because tools really just, everybody knows you can build tools very fast. Now the concepts that are kind of patterns that stay longer are actually repeatable. If you have seen them, you're repeating them. To learn data engineering now, you're not doing the usual way, just go and data analyze. You analyze really the most data engineering pipeline, and then you learn everything that is good about it, right? So in some sense, you will have time after some time to build on top of the combination of things that you have built. And it's okay, and it is a portfolio, but let me even call it a much more, these days I'm talking in the sense of the matrix, and I call it somehow the matrix shift. The skills and knowledge and even product is more like, you want them, you build them. You want certain skill, you want data engineering, almost like there's a movie, like maybe just a good time to share it. Just like there is already, it's kind of, you go and say, operator, load like this skill, right? Data engineering skill. It's a product, operator, yes, okay, give me these skills so that I can make this product. It is not more than that. The foundational, that older sense of how we think of products is kind of like, it's important that we are actually fast moving and be able to really load any skill, any competency, and see patterns so that we can create products on the fly. I think, as Nuria was saying, a lot more faster by combining, having tools, see patterns as you build, see patterns such that, okay, like these are actually key components that I should be all the time in anything that I'm building. By definition, AI must set them up for me. Like, I am starting a new project, then the evaluator, the hydrologist now, I mean, something I think someone also asked it, I think it was Stefanos who was asking, about one part that is not added there is that, what about knowledge transfer or skill transfer or pattern transfer from one code base to another? You want to start something, just like basically inject that skill. Like maybe just you have now analyzed, your best, the top, I don't know, 20 repositories. Like it should just basically bring all, the rules must be created from that, skills, and also plugins and other components, workflows are created from this type of project. Let's say scikit-like approach, or pandas type optimization, or the kind of one of the projects, airflow type of like redundancy or kind of handling concurrency. These things you now can actually bring them as a rule or as a skill and as evaluator and things like that, or as a benchmark. So in principle, by seeing overall and kind of your development environment being almost, you don't have to think. Even when you don't think, when you just say build this, behind that it is actually set up, all of that. allows you to exactly just that, exactly like the operator says that I was talking about. So I think that's the thinking. So even if there is an urge in like kind of staying in one project, I think it's okay the next 3 months spending a lot more, going faster and better, kind of, it's more like in a gym where you actually start, it's not one routine. You kind of are building all aspects of it. So that's at least my thinking. So, but others, if there is any other comment people want to share, just go on.
Yeah, but maybe just to add what you and Nuri have said. For me, also, Nuri, to transition from project to project, as Nuri said, like it becomes easier from week to week because you know how to manage your time, how to challenge the document, and so on. But as you said, I'm also thinking about how I can deploy those into production. So in that one, I'm having also a cognitive debt so that, it becomes a bit difficult to understand all the codes and all the documents. So what I'm convincing myself is that I treat this one, to build something as an MVP. So that, as you said, I was also fascinated about, that week 3 project. So I am thinking like after I'm done with this one, I'll come again and, do it and continue building from that. But as also Yabal said, I was also sharing it, on LinkedIn and so on, so that I can collaborate with others too. So I think we have to focus right now on building an MVP right now because the time frame is very short. But if you have some kind of concepts and clear direction, and once we are done, that will be easy to continue from that. And that's how I'm seeing it right now. Thank you.
Thank you both, so all three of you. I've also seen like a real close how I consume information has really changed. One thing I would like to also share, I want to share this last week as well. I'm using Notebook LM, and I'm not sure most of the colleagues here are using it or not, but you can just put even like this recording, this YouTube video, the documents, and everything, that every resource that you have, and you can even listen to it like a podcast. Even like when you're walking or doing something else, you can consume so much information. Like I'm learning so many things to really speed up things as I go. And I just wanted to hear what you guys thought about, if you really love one project, how do you move on to the next one and the next one? But it was really nice to hear how you're dealing with things. Thank you all of you.
Great. Just adding, the cartographer can analyze your week 3 and recommend more, right? And then they evaluate. So it's kind of actually, if you do well on cartographer, the cartographer can help you now add new features much faster. Earlier, I was saying, what is the token cost and the time cost to add a new feature or strings in your week 3? Let's say you loved week 3. It would reduce, if you haven't done week 4, probably it would still be higher. But now with week 4, in principle, you actually be able to, add it much faster. And also just if you set up skills and background agents, what happens is that all you have to do is just write one line of task, and then all of these, your week 2, your week 3, your week 4 analyzes them, adds them as additional tasks, gaps analysis, right? And then just they become tasks. And actually the background agent, I think some part of it, I wanted to do it this week, but I will do it next week, is this actually tasks being generated autonomously. And that is, I have built something similar, but then the OpenAI also came recently with Symfony. It's just basically, you would be able to generate and analyze gaps. As long as you have a higher level goal, you can actually satisfy them, right? So, but what Symfony doesn't have is what you have. You have the cartographer, you have the evaluator, like the auditor, and these two combined in the loop can actually start making it better. And another one is that you really should create for your LinkedIn post, for your X post, for your product hunt post, for your dev articles, create just a slash command, right, in your terminals, in your AIDs, so that as you finish them, just launch them. No cognitive stuff. Like a lot of this can be done and automated, and you have all the skills to do it. It's just, but if one, like maybe just advertise it, build a command for that and advertise, oh yeah, now on product and you can actually launch with this skill. And another person build something, say, oh, your LinkedIn post can be done by that one. Like you can actually really, of course, you can use also Vercel's skill, just skill.sh, then just use that one to just load another skill. They have that for posting with, on Slack or product hunt or many. But be able to embrace this new load what you want. Like, so I think in that spirit, like I'm gonna just enter to share like the video. So I'm just because this seems to be the right time. Okay, and I am here, then share. So do you see the screen?
I'm supposed to start with these operation programs first. That's major motor and shit. Let's do something a little more fun. How about combat training? Jiu-jitsu. I'm going to learn jiu-jitsu. Oh shit. Hey Mikey, I think he likes it. How about some more? Hell yes. Hell yeah. I know Kung Fu. Show me. Can you fly that thing?
Not yet.
Operator.
Tank, I need a pilot program for a B-212 helicopter. Hurry. Let's go.
So that's exactly it. Like, so it should be something very similar. Trinity, which is the female Neo, they're kind of, it's exactly that. I think the perception, if you can understand AI in that sense, that now it's not in your, the AI has it, the AI is your operator in some sense, in some form. But having that shift, doing something is as simple as just kind of, yeah, it takes some process, it may have a couple of days, it's not yet wired, but the environment, the operator kind of giving you that, I want that, and you get that, and then let's go, right? I think that's kind of where we are heading, and having that, mastering that art, in some sense is, what we're really doing. And every week is more like a different skill, but more than the skill itself, what we are actually focusing is how you just set up so that you can, you can load and go. So I hope that gives you perspective.
Yes, it does. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. So then we can start maybe, yeah, I will be very short because you can read it with AI and stuff. So, I mean, I'll only explain. So maybe just, unless yeah, let's probably go 15 minutes. We can go if I just start, but we have to actually stop and start. So let's come back in 5 minutes, which is basically at 40. Just to start the challenge also. So good. Thanks, guys.